What's up, landlords? Renee here. I'm gonna do a little pregame live. I'm trying to set up. I'm running behind because of the time change. Um, Let me put some music on. There it is. I'm on this. Well, let me share my screen. All right. There I am. All right, so I was looking for something to talk about today before I go live inside of Landlording School for our weekly live call. And I saw a lot of posts about insurance. And then this person, he said he's 22 years old and he bought a duplex and his insurance is increasing. And he's saying he's, going to sell F it. And there's a conversation and stuff that people are talking about. And I figure I might as well put my 2 cents into this. Let me see if I can switch it here. So I made some notes just to make sure I don't forget anything. And it's common knowledge what most people are going to share in here. A lot of people are giving them, some pushback. Oh, you must be in Florida. And there's not a back and forth. And that's my biggest argument with Reddit. You don't get to actually have a conversation with these people. They're anonymous. They're trying not to give you too many, details. But anyways, people are talking about, you obviously need to always increase your rents. And if you have an issue with that, we need to figure out a way around it so you can make it automatic and build it into the lease. That's what I did. Reshop new policies is what people are saying. They're saying that these people every year they go around shopping. It's a lot of work and everything. But if that's what you have to do to save money, you do what you got to do. And these insurance people are not your friends. I've known from the beginning that they're kind of against you a little bit. They got all the fine print and all the lawyers and everything. And I know I've had insurance providers send me letters saying, hey, we're about to drop you unless you replace the roof on your property. And because it's getting old and, some liability or whatever. And I go and I pay, I think it was like $18,000 or $15,000 to replace the roof. And then I was able to keep the insurance on it. And then they had a property, my other property, they sent me the same letter after I've dealt with that one. And they said, hey, we're also going to drop this one unless you replace the roof. So I had to replace both the roofs on my own. Fortunately, I was able to do that with the CapEx fund and everything. And I was able to survive. So I just already knew from experience that they're not your friends and don't rely on them too much. And, sometimes, I just said how they'll threaten to drop you and stuff like that. And sometimes what they'll do if they don't want to service your area anymore or your type of policy, they'll be like hiking the rates just, almost like, it's like illegal. They'll hike the rates like 100% or, 300% on you and stuff like that. They're basically sending you a message being like, hey, cancel on your own because we don't want to provide this anymore. And some tips that I don't really hear people talk about sometimes is get an insurance broker, but you still have to kind of manage the insurance broker and say, hey, are you guys reshopping the policies? They're coming up. Set reminders in your calendar about this. And then increase your deductibles to the max, but you need to have emergency fund. That's something I do. Also get insurance, umbrella insurance, and require your tenants to carry liability to the landlord's property. And lastly, something else I also do is I pay off the rentals and I self-insure. When I have my properties fully paid off and they don't have a mortgage on them, there's no insurance. I self-insure. People might think, whoa, that's wild. I can't believe that. Same thing with dentists, like your teeth. Some people will be like, oh my gosh, how do you not have dental insurance? I grew up poor, going to bed hungry. I didn't have insurance my whole entire upbringing until I went into the military. And I'm like, if I can survive, there's always freak accidents and stuff like that, and you do what you got to do, and you're taking a risk, obviously. But if I can pay off the property, have emergency fund, and it's 100% fully paid off. If there is a fire and let's say the renter insurance doesn't cover it or something catastrophic, then maybe I got to get involved. And if it's fully paid off, I can always tear it down and try to get a new construction loan and build a new one on the same footprint that's already zoned approved. I built an in-law suite in the back, and I kind of know about that. I was in a little bit of a new construction sales with technology. So I'm familiar with the building process, the rough-in, the trim, and all that, and the tradesmen's and the GC and all. So I feel comfortable enough where I feel like I can manage that and make it happen. So those are just like some random things. Let me check and see if anybody's on school yet. Give me a second.
Recording in progress.
See, that's my fault. I'm not good at this. I need to remember to send out a message and say, hey, we're about to have this call. I always forget and drop the ball. And even though the system automatically sends out a notification like 24 hours in advance, I still need to be like, hey, in an hour, I'll be going live. Look to see you guys. So I don't leave people hanging, because I'm only going to be here for 15 minutes. If nobody jumps on, then I just end the call. Since I'm still here, let me share my screen and show what I've been working on. I don't know if you can see this. Just switch to live because that's when it starts. Okay, in the classroom, I got Meet the Landlords. We got the onboarding, but I've been working on this rental biz starter, and I was trying to do something like Dave Ramsey has the financial independence baby steps. I think there's like 7, 8 of them, and I was like, how can I do that with DIY and landlording and make it really simple and kind of give people a really tangible kind of thing to do? And I came up with this, and I don't know how I came up with this idea of Mortal Kombat and everything, but I themed it Mortal Kombat. And it's Test Your Might. And I don't know if anybody's played the Mortal Kombat games or watched the movies. They used to have these little mini games in between the fighting with your opponent. And you used to have to like tap the buttons really fast and then hit the action button. And then if you got your bar up high enough, you could break whatever's in front of you. So I made this with like, I'm not an expert at all. I used Grok AI, and then I used Adobe Express, and my wife helped me because she's better with colors and everything. And I made this Test Your Might. And it's like a landlord flex check just to kind of see how serious you are about landlording and DIY landlording and all that. And it's a pass fail kind of thing, 10 mini games. The first one is name. Do you have your business name picked out? And what I mean by name, it's a property management name, because I always talk about the plain vanilla business advantage, where you carry yourself like a property management company and you act as the property manager when you're dealing with the tenants. They never know you are the owner and landlord, because I got a lot of stories explaining why that's a bad idea. But obviously you need a name, a company name, right? Do you even have one picked out? Because inside my, let me back up. Inside this Landlord Pro, Advanced Landlording, I address all this stuff. But like I said, I was trying to make little baby steps. So the next one, you would check this off if you got it or whatever. Go to the next one, logo. Do you have a logo? And I'm actually going to show how to make a basic logo, really simple. And I'm going to use Adobe Express. You can use Canva and other things. And then you will also use this for like business cards if you ever do that, or build a website. So I don't know if anybody even knows how to build a logo, and if they don't, I'll show you. And if you need help, you know, I can help you, like, because once you're in this school, you know, I'm there to support you guys, and I will help you out. You just DM me and you got questions, and I was like, all right, let's jump on a call, we'll do like a live like this, and then let's work on it together. The next one would be, what was it? Colors. So you need a branding color scheme where you actually have some colors that match. There's like a color wheel, and there's like some science, and there's different color schemes that pair together, and there's a good safe colors that are known, like blues and stuff. So you want to pick that out. And if you don't know about that, you're like, oh, I've never considered this. Oh, if I'm going to be a professional property management company, I need a name, a logo. I need some color schemes, because you're going to carry the same color across everything from business cards, your website. And if you get a shirt or anything, or you do like welcome letters or checks, anything, like, it's very helpful, and it makes you have that plain vanilla business advantage. You set this up once and you look like a real replicable, legitimate rental business. The next one was font. Like, pick your font, and you don't have to buy some kind of like fancy font. You obviously don't want something that's hard to read. And if you've seen people's websites that got funky fonts, or if you see business cards you can't even read, that's bad. You want to stick to the really simple free fonts that, you know, but the point here is you need to standardize it. You want to make sure your business cards, your website, and everything all meshes together with your logo and the colors and all that stuff. And if you're a small mom and pop landlord and you're winging it and everything, that's the whole point of landlording school. I'm trying to help you guys get the systems, shortcuts, and the economy of scales, where you can take more of a hands-off approach to your landlording. And, you know, what I always say, cash flow forever and real freedom. You want to make the business so simple to run that you can do it forever, and you have rental income, cash flow forever. And the next one is email, which is, do you have a rental biz email? And the next one after that is a phone, right? Yeah. And most people, they'll get a Google Gmail. They might put some kind of rental name in the front, and then they will use it at Gmail. And then they'll use a Google Voice number. And then when anybody calls, it says, the Google subscriber you are trying to reach is not available. And it just looks unprofessional. You can, it's hard to hide that you are the owner and landlord when you're doing shortcuts like this. So you want to put on a front that it's a business they're calling, and you want to have a professional voicemail, and you want it to be, you know, maybe a vanity number with that spells something like call us at 1-800-RENT or rentals or something like that. And I talk about this in that advanced landlording course. Address, you want to make sure you're using a virtual address. Separate your business stuff from your personal stuff. You never want the tenants to know where you live and all that stuff. It's just for OPSEC, you know, kind of military background. Like, you want to kind of keep some of that stuff under wraps. You don't want to be letting the tenants just get mad at you one day and come find you. Another thing, website. Do you have a rental business website? When I say that, maybe I need to put property management rental biz website. I think they get the gist. I'm trying to make it so simple that when somebody goes through it, it's kind of like, oh, I've never thought of that. And if people are serious about being a DIY landlord long-term and cash flow forever and want to make this easy, then maybe they'll pay attention a little bit, and maybe they'll show up to these calls and stuff. So that's the point of making it really simple. And if somebody takes the time to kind of do this and ask questions to me, now I want to help them succeed. So what can I do? And do you have an LLC? Was that the last one? Oh, number 2 is business banking, because you can't get the business banking without the LLC. And if you're inside of landlording school, the free community I run, this is all beyond you right now. It's more for new landlords. Skip the LLC, skip the business banking. try to make it really simple. Obviously, the tenants are going to know you're the landlord, but you still can use some kind of system shortcuts getting you moving in the right directions. Because I know when you first start out, the it's tight, money tight. You can't really reinvest some of the rental income back into the business to do some of these things. But I do provide different ways for a website. I'll show a cheap way, but when you do stuff cheap, you can kind of see through it and it doesn't look good. It doesn't operate fine like you would want. And then there's one that costs a little bit, and then there's one that costs, a lot every month, I guess you would say, to host a website. And you're like, what's this? But I could explain why the website is so helpful, but I'll skip it. And then the last one, excellent, because when they used to punch through, they say excellent, I think. And then here's a quick little summary, and then I got a passing score and a fail. If you may, each point or each one question mini game is worth 10 points. So if you pass them all, you get 100. And then I'm like, hey, don't worry about this. If you haven't done any of these yet, don't worry about it. I address everything in the Advanced Landlording Pro class. And then I even made a post about it just the other day. And I think that's about my time. Let me see where I'm at now. Okay, so we got a little bit more time. Maybe I'll go to, let me pull up something else on Reddit and let me see.
Luna. Money work. El mundo quiere dinero. Money work. Se arregla con dinero. Money work. Si me quiero educar, dormir en algún lugar, un lugar para trabajar, y si no hay pues emigrar. Todo money, money, todo el dinero. Solo un par de gente se lleva el botín entero. Funny, funny, pasa verdadero. Si tienes lo verde siempre llegará primero. Pero llegaremos antes o después. Solo a lo suyo, que Dios te lo ve. Que por más que tarde lo veré caer. Somos más lo bueno y tenemos fe. El dinero ya lo veré. No vendo mi alma, lo lograré. Seré el más grande, no olvidaré de dónde vengo ni cómo voy. Money work. El mundo quiere dinero. Money work. Se arregla con dinero. Con dinero. Money work. Yo digo las cosas como son. No quiero ninguna aceptación. Tampoco vengo a pedir perdón, porque mis sentimientos se volvieron la canción. Yeah. No me vale mucho como tú me ves. Sabes, tú me llegas solo a los pies. Para mí ser grande es un interés. Ser un buen humano para mí es un deber.
All right, so what I'm going to do is, nothing was jumping out on Reddit when I was just scanning through that stuff. It's a lot of noise and it's kind of a pain to be on there. But I am going to share an example website with you guys. Where'd I go? Oh, there I am. This is an example website I gave, and I help, other landlords with this kind of thing. You can do a one-pager simple thing. Let me see if I got it here. Is this going to show it? Yeah, this is an example of making a free website, which it's with Zoho Writer, and it's basically like a Word document, and you're not going to remember this URL, so you would need to get a URL shortener like Bitly or something, and then it doesn't really feel right. Like if you're trying to run a rental business and you're like, hey, here's this Bitly link that redirects to this long strand, and these are hyperlinked, like so you can click reviews and go down to the reviews section, and it kind of operates like a website, and you can go in here and edit it and stuff, and it's the cheapest way to go about it that I know of. And then I have another option that I share is a static app. Let me see if this still works. Yeah, all this is, my photos are not rendering. I'll have to fix that. All it is that single page, and you would put your management company, and this is where your font would come into play and your colors. And then these buttons just redirect to the bottom. And I was trying to make it simple for maybe a landlord to have at least a one-page website. And then what you would do is you'd put two Google Docs down here, or Zoho, Word, workspace docs or something, if you're separating your business stuff like I like to do from your personal. And this link would redirect to your FAQ, so you can edit it, and your website you never have to mess with that. And then to get in contact, your contact info would be here. So this is another thing. I need to fix these images that are coming up. But here's more of an example of a full-blown website. And I put this yellow section here to kind of help people and say, hey, some notes along the way. So it would be your logo that you pick, stay with us, and a picture of some sort. And I can give you this picture. My wife helped me edit this. So all this stuff is like free to use if you're in the school. And if you click this, it'll just drop down to the communities. If you have multiple communities, you can separate them like that. And then you want to get yourself a BBB accreditation, or if you don't want to pay for it, you can still apply and put yourself in the BBB registrar that they have, like a database. Then your company will still come up. The reason why is you can still ask your tenants to leave you reviews on the BBB, and it will show there. And this helps you get that plain vanilla business advantage where you're looking like a professional property management company, and you can incorporate this into your move out process and add it to your website. And all this gives you that plain vanilla business advantage I'm talking about, where it really feels like a property management company. And that's how I, as a solo landlord, have had tenants want to give me reviews, because I was such a great property manager and stuff, and they don't know that I'm a solo landlord running the whole show. And I use words like, hey, let me get with my team and let me get back to you. I only email from within business hours, and we have a professional voice number, all that, whatever. These are just like images for your communities, but a shortcut here is you can go on Google Earth and just like take a snippet. Like let's say you're a long distance landlord. I was in Iraq when I first built my website, and that's what I did. And then these will go to each individual website. This is the videos. I have an unbranded YouTube channel where I show the tenants how to simple household maintenance stuff that they can do, and my wife films it over my shoulder. I try not to show my face, and it's just straight to the point. No intro, no hey subscribe, no outro. It's just a sound of a door closing when it's over. So they're super short, straight to the point, because if I want to help a tenant send them to the FAQs, I want them to click it and get the info right away with no talking. And I wanted it to be universal, so just in case any other landlords wanted to use it. Stay with us. Get in contact. I like a pop-up form like this, because if you have your personal information on this website, it'll get scraped and you'll get like spam bot calls and everything. It's just a pain. And if you click on one of your communities, there's some more notes here. It goes into the FAQs and all this stuff, and I give it all to those that are inside of landlording school. And if you have questions or anything, I can work with y'all. What is going on here? And that's just a quick rundown of just some good stuff that's in a landlording school. And what's cool is the platform just came out with a new awesome affiliate program. So as a member, if you refer anybody, you get 50% commission. So that's like passive income. And then you're just in a community hanging out with other like-minded landlords, and we're all trying to get cash flow forever and real freedom. So I hope that was helpful. If anybody watches this, that's my 15 minutes. I'm going to end the call. I'm going to go back to my Sunday. See you guys.